The brutality and horror wreaked by Islamic fanatics in Paris last week, the slaughter of journalists at Charlie Hebdo and Jews at the market shop, seized the eyes and ears and shook the nerve and conscience of most of the Western world. But then it all happened in Paris. Paris, city of light's origin, some say, of the rights of man. Paris, intellectual luminary of Europe, birth home of Descartes and Pascal, style and fashion capital of all the world. And partly because Paris is all those things, nearly 50 world leaders showed up on Sunday to join the march to mark the horror of those events and the insolent insult to freedom and democratic society the attacks were. History, or Islamic fanaticism, which may be the same thing these days, never runs on one track. For almost simultaneously with the Paris killings, there was a far bloodier, savage butchery being perpetrated by Islamic fanatics in Nigeria by Boko Haram. Reports from witnesses and a few who escaped to tell a story of mass slaughter of up to 2,000 people, 2,000, who were mainly the old, the very young, and women. They targeted whole villages, slaughtered and maimed at will. One 12-year-old who escaped said, "I saw them kill my father. They slaughtered him like a ram. There were too many dead to count," said another. This is the same murderous gang that seized 300 young girls and briefly thereby arrested the hashtag conscience of the world some 6 months ago. The same gang which rapes or sells, or rapes and sells, women into slavery. The gang that uses 10 and 12-year-olds as suicide missiles. And one more dread statistic, over 1.5 million people are displaced, meaning homes burned or they have been driven from shelter by Boko Haram. What we saw in Paris was barely a feather from the wing of terror. In these villages of Nigeria, they were dealing with the whole vulture. The world is now reeling from examples of Islamic fanatics, ISIL raging in Syria and Iraq, the Taliban, who are still burning schools and throwing acid in the faces of young girls who want to go to school, and of course, the moron killers in the West, yodeling Allah Akbar as they mow down innocents. But surely, the scale of things in Nigeria, the bottomless savagery there, merits some deeper response than mere editorializing, as I'm doing, or mere statements of concern. If Paris could call out nearly 50 world leaders to march in condemnation and solidarity, surely these same heads of government might offer equal recognition, equal time, and equal presence to the killing and torment of the truly powerless and alone of the Nigerian villages. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.